Do you have any comment on the latest sanctions from the NCAA?
Like I said to you last year, not engaging.
Jim Harbaugh did not have much to say about the NCAA sanctions that were imposed on him last Friday. The final word on the Connor Stalions sign-stealing scandal, a 10-year show cause order, which is essentially a 10-year suspension by the NCAA because anybody that would hire him in the next 10 years would have to show cause to the NCAA on why they should not be sanctioned for hiring Jim Harbaugh. Doesn't matter. He's not going back to the college level. Here's the question. Well, let me back up a step. Just let me get your reaction, Michael Holley, to that news. 10 years, NCAA, whacking Jim Harbaugh.
Nothing. That means nothing to Jim Harbaugh. Hey, when Jim Harbaugh was at Michigan, Mike, there were several times over the course of his head coaching career with the Wolverines, there were several times where he flirted with NFL franchises. He actually went on an interview with your Minnesota Vikings, and a lot of people thought he was going to get the job then. He didn't. The job went to Kevin O'Connell instead. I mean, there were times that he wanted to go to the NFL. It was pretty clear, and he went back to Michigan. Sometimes he really wanted to go. Other times he was trying to use it as leverage to get a new contract. So once he left Minnesota, he's not going back to college football. It's over. So a 10-year you can't come around here anymore penalty really means nothing to the head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers. It's actually a comical slap on the wrist for him.
And you're right. And also comical the fact that there's no postseason ban because they don't want to hurt the players and coaches who weren't involved in any of it. Not that that has ever stopped them in the past from imposing serious bans and other restrictions on teams, and it's more money than anything else. They don't want Michigan to not be available to play in the postseason. They'll take their postseason money, but they don't want them to not be available in the postseason. The question, though, relates to Harbaugh, and we raised this immediately. It goes back to Ohio State, the Ohio State. Get it right. Terrell Pryor, suspended by the NCAA, enters the supplemental draft. NFL implements an equivalent suspension on him. Jim Tressel, Ohio State coach, leaves Ohio State, becomes a consultant with the Colts. He was going to be like replay booth or time clock assistant or something. Even though they massaged it a little bit to make it sound like the Colts were doing it, this was a league-mandated suspension of Tressel to simulate the suspension that he got at Ohio State. So what gives? And I asked the league right away about it. No comment. Okay, well, here's somebody who had a comment, Michael. Urban Meyer, former Ohio State coach and nemesis of Michigan and Jim Harbaugh on the Harbaugh suspension.
Now, there'll be an asterisk there. I think this is going to be a couple-week story, and it disappears. I really do.
Yeah.
There's an elephant in the room here, boys, though, that no one's talking about. When Jim Tressel was fired at Ohio State and he was given a suspension, Roger Goodell, commissioner of the National Football League, came out and said that we're going to honor that we're going to honor that suspension. And you remember he went to the Indianapolis Colts to work in the replay room or something. The Colts, because of the respect they had for the NCAA and the suspension, do you realize suspended Jim Tressel? So he was unable to perform his duties for the first 6 games of the year for the Indianapolis Colts. I think we all know the answer.
Yeah.
Any chance that Roger Goodell and the NFL? Of course not. Yeah. And I don't know why.
Not to change the subject, but where the hell is Urban Meyer doing his podcast? What the hell is that?
I was thinking the same thing. I was checking out that background.
Kind of a rec
what
room.
Is that?
What the hell is that? What is that, Urban?
Wait, so trophy room?
What is that?
Game room? Got the printer back there. Got the Urban Meyer book on the shelf. Look, very interesting
I don't know.
setup. Hey, but Mike, But seriously, look right there. And just go back to that image again. And if you don't know Ohio State football, you should look up there on the shelf. He's got an Ohio State helmet up there. You got the Buckeye decals on the helmet. So it's kind of, you got to take it for what it's worth. This is an Ohio State guy, as am I, commenting on a Michigan guy. I mean, it's really Ohio State, Michigan. But if you take that aside, he's right. If you put all that aside, Ohio State, Michigan, the rivalry, that school up north, all that. If the NFL did it before for Jim Tressel, the NFL did it before for Terrell Pryor, why isn't the NFL going to do it for Harbaugh? And it's pretty simple. I think they look at Harbaugh and say, he's good for business. It helps us to have Jim Harbaugh as one of our head coaches. Does Terrell Pryor move the needle for us? Not necessarily. Does Jim Tressel? Not really. I think that's the only explanation, that Harbaugh has more celebrity, has more drawing power, has more earning power for the NFL than those other two guys do.
I also believe, Michael, that back when that happened, 2011 timeframe, thereabouts, 2012 maybe for Tressel, I sensed a greater inclination by the NFL to tiptoe on eggshells around college football. And there's still some of that where the NFL realizes college football is the free farm system. The NFL needs things from the college coaches: access to practice, easy access to film. They need cooperation from the people who are the custodians of the free farm system. That has changed, and I don't know why that's changed, but the vibe isn't there like it used to be, where we're scared of college football. The attitude now is more like, screw college football, we'll do whatever we want. Or maybe more broadly, screw everyone, we'll do whatever we want. And if they don't like it, to quote Jerry Jones, they can shove it up their ass. So I think that's one big difference. We don't care about that anymore. We don't kowtow to college football anymore. They should kowtow to us. But at a minimum, look, you're either going to follow your precedent or you're not. And when somebody asks you the question, you can either answer it or you won't. We have no comment. Well, I think it's fair for us to say, why not? Why won't you say, NFL, whether or not you're going to honor the precedent that you created or you're going to deviate from it? If you're going to deviate from it, explain why. But, and I know they don't like it when people say this, which is probably one of the reasons why I'm going to go ahead and say it, they make it up as they go. And they want to reserve the right to make it up as they go. They want to do whatever they want to do in any given set of circumstances without regard to any precedents they've created in others. Hypocrisy, we don't care. Double standards, we don't care. We want to do what's right for us here, just like we did what was right for us there. And it doesn't matter if the principles are similar. It wasn't right for us there. It's right for us here. So we're going to do it here, what we didn't do there. That's how they do things. And it was unfortunate because yesterday there was a conference call with the media where they invite people on, and sometimes it's hard to get into the queue to make a phone call. I was busy and I couldn't do it. I was going to ask for Harbaugh comment because it's harder to do it in a phone call, in a conference call, than it is to just respond to an email saying no comment. It would have been more of a thud if they had said no comment if someone had asked, and nobody did. And I was hoping somebody would. I made it a prominent headline, hoping somebody on that call would ask the question.
And you're right. They are making it up as they go along. Oh, they could, and if they really wanted to answer it without answering it, you say every situation is different. You know, Jim Tressel, that was different. When that happened, it's different than what Coach Harbaugh.
But how's it different? But how? Here's the problem, Michael. If they say every situation,
you got to answer that question.
Well, why is this different? Yeah, that's the thing. It's better to just not go down that rabbit hole, because once you start, eventually you're going to find yourself in a corner, because it's not different. We suspended a player and a coach from a college program that got itself crossways with the NCAA. And now we have another coach who was suspended, and we're not doing anything. 10 years! 10 years! And we're not going to do anything? That I think, if they start down the every case is different path, it leads nowhere good because it exposes the hypocrisy and the double standard.
Yeah, and then to say college football is different. Hey, here's the answer. College football is different now than it was then. It's true. Now everybody's a lot more upfront about the millions of dollars at stake. And so the precedent has been set. If they wanted, it's a new precedent. If a coach runs into trouble in the NCAA, there's a safe landing spot in the NFL for them without any kind of consequence. So going forward,
just know when to go. Just make the jump at the right time.
Just go ahead, get out of there before the cavalry, before the law arrives. Get out of there, and then you do Harbaugh doing his own press conference. Oh, I have nothing to say about it. Oh, no, you don't. You wanted to tell us before about how J.J. McCarthy, he should be the number 1 pick in the draft, and Colston Loveland, how great is he, and Blake Corum, all your Michigan guys. You wanted to talk about them before, but now there's a penalty. You have nothing to say about it.
Just like the old Indiana Jones move, slide under the stone door as it's falling, reach back and grab your hat, and you're good to go. And Jim Harbaugh reaching back and grabbing that Michigan hat and or Chargers hat, and he's good to go. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.